Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cowboys and Cattle. In our last episode, Ashley and Caleb broke into Amy's home to search for evidence against Nathan. When Nathan left for a work meeting, they saw their opportunity. They searched Nathan's guest room, found his laptop and a burner phone, then contacted the FBI for instructions to decrypt the password-protected laptop. The decryption process would take over 20 minutes. And they were only at 60% completion when Amy returned unexpectedly. They frantically aborted the process and barely managed to hide what they were doing. Though Amy was clearly suspicious, they left shaken, having taken massive risks for incomplete results. But what they didn't know was that Nathan had anticipated exactly this scenario. He'd installed a hidden camera recording to cloud storage, and his laptop had tracking software logging every access attempt. As they drove away believing they'd escaped detection, Nathan was reviewing crystal-clear footage of them searching his belongings. He made a call requesting options for dealing with the threat permanently. Ashley and Caleb had just made themselves targets for elimination, and they didn't even know it yet. If you've been following this dangerous investigation, please hit that like button and subscribe. Today's episode shows the immediate aftermath of that close call. Ashley and Caleb expect Nathan to be suspicious or hostile, but instead he's surprisingly happy and friendly, which makes them even more terrified. Despite the risk, they continue their investigation and discover a pattern in Nathan's movements. He repeatedly visits a remote location that might be connected to the smuggling operation. They decide to investigate, believing they're finally about to get the concrete evidence the FBI needs. But what they don't know is that Nathan has been waiting for exactly this moment. This is episode 36, and the confrontation they've been dreading is about to happen in the most terrifying way possible. Heartland Ranch. Ashley and Caleb pulled up to Heartland with their stomachs in knots. They debated whether to come at all, after what they'd done 3 days ago. After nearly getting caught searching Nathan's belongings, every instinct screamed at them to stay away. But they'd promised Jack they'd protect Amy, and the FBI needed them to maintain their cover, to continue acting like normal friends, so Nathan wouldn't realize the full scope of the investigation against him. So here they were, pretending everything was fine while their nerves screamed danger with every breath. Amy met them at the barn, smiling warmly as always. She seemed to have forgotten or dismissed their strange behavior from 3 days ago. The flustered explanations, the guilty expressions, the rushed departure.
Hey, perfect timing. I was just about to work with Storm. Want to help?
Sure, we'd love to. They followed Amy into the barn, and that's when Nathan appeared from one of the stalls. Ashley felt her entire body tense, preparing for confrontation, suspicion, coldness. But Nathan's face broke into a genuine smile when he saw them.
Ashley, Caleb, great to see you guys.
His tone was warm, friendly, almost enthusiastic. He walked toward them with open body language, no trace of the cold calculation they'd witnessed before.
How have you been? Feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
It had been 3 days. 3 days since they'd searched his belongings, tried to access his laptop, violated his privacy in every way, and Nathan was acting like nothing had happened. Like they were just friends he was happy to see.
We're good. Been busy with some business stuff. I hear you. Work never stops, right? But it's good to take breaks and spend time with friends.
He clapped Caleb on the shoulder in a friendly gesture that made Caleb's skin crawl. This wasn't right. Nathan should be suspicious, hostile, cold. Instead, he was acting warmer than he ever had before. They spent the next hour helping Amy work with Storm, and the entire time Nathan was cheerful and engaging. He joked, he laughed, he asked friendly questions about their lives and businesses. To anyone watching, he looked like a man in a great mood, enjoying time with his girlfriend and her friends. But Ashley kept watching his eyes, and his eyes told a different story than his smile. They were cold, calculating, assessing. The warmth never quite reached them, no matter how genuine his expressions seemed. After they finished with Storm, Amy went to check on another horse in the far paddock. Nathan stayed behind with Ashley and Caleb, and for a moment his smile faltered slightly.
It's really nice having good friends around. Amy's lucky to have you two in her life.
The words were pleasant, but something about the way he said them made Ashley's blood run cold. Like he was making a point, sending a message she couldn't quite decode.
I hope we can all stay close. It would be terrible if anything came between us.
Then Amy's voice called from the paddock, and Nathan's full smile returned instantly as he walked away to help her. In the vehicle driving away from Heartland, neither Ashley nor Caleb spoke for several minutes. Finally, Caleb broke the silence.
That was wrong. All of it. The way he was acting.
Too friendly. Way too friendly. Like he's playing a game we don't understand.
Does he know what we did? Is he toying with us? Or is he genuinely clueless and just in a good mood?
I don't know. But either way, it's terrifying. If he knows and he's acting like that, he's psychopathic. If he doesn't know and this is just his normal behavior, then we got lucky, but we're still investigating a dangerous person. They drove in tense silence, both consumed with trying to understand Nathan's strange behavior. Ashley and Caleb's property. Despite the close call at Heartland and Nathan's unsettling friendliness, Ashley and Caleb couldn't stop investigating. They'd promised Jack. The FBI was depending on them, and Amy was still in danger whether Nathan knew about their investigation or not. So they continued their surveillance, carefully documenting Nathan's movements whenever they could do so without being obvious. And a pattern emerged. Look at this. Every Tuesday and Friday for the past 3 weeks, Nathan goes to this location. She pointed to a map on her laptop where she'd been tracking Nathan's movements using timestamps from when they'd observed him leaving and returning to Heartland. The location was on the outskirts of Hudson, a remote industrial area, with scattered warehouses and storage facilities, not residential, not obviously commercial. Just isolated buildings on cheap land far from town.
What's there? What's there?
I looked up the property records. It's owned by a company called North Point Holdings, LLC.
Let me guess. Shell company?
Exactly. Same corporate structure the FBI identified in the smuggling operation. Registered address is a P.O. box. No actual business location. Officers listed are names that don't appear in any other public records. They stared at the map together, both recognizing what they'd found.
This could be it. An actual smuggling operation site with Nathan's direct involvement.
He goes there regularly, and predictable times. It's not random or occasional. It's scheduled, routine, like it's part of his actual work. They immediately sent an encrypted message to Agent Morrison with their findings, the location, the property ownership information, Nathan's visitation pattern, everything they'd documented. The response came within an hour. Excellent work. This location matches intelligence we've gathered from other sources. We believe it's an active staging area for the smuggling operation, where horses are held temporarily, documentation is falsified, and animals are prepared for transport. However, we don't have enough evidence yet to obtain a warrant. We need visual confirmation of criminal activity at this location. Can you conduct surveillance and document what's there? Ashley and Caleb read the message together, both feeling the weight of what was being asked.
They want us to go there, to that location, and document what we find.
It's what we've been building toward, getting concrete evidence of the smuggling operation with Nathan's direct connection.
But it's also incredibly dangerous. After what happened at the Price Ranch, after Nathan's weird behavior, after everything, going to an active criminal site feels like suicide.
We can go when Nathan's not there. We've been tracking his schedule. Tuesday and Friday he visits the location. We go on a different day when we know he's at Heartland with Amy. They debated for hours, weighing the risks against the potential reward. This could be the evidence that finally connected Nathan to criminal activity. The proof they needed to protect Amy and bring Lou home. The vindication of Jack's warnings and their own suspicions. Finally, they decided. They would go. The remote location. Ashley and Caleb had confirmed that morning that Nathan was at Heartland. They'd driven past and seen his vehicle parked near the barn. This was not one of his regular visit days to the remote location. They should be safe to investigate without encountering him. The drive to the site took about 20 minutes from central Hudson. The area became increasingly isolated. As they went, fewer buildings, more empty land, less traffic. Perfect for illegal activities that required privacy. The property itself was surrounded by chain-link fencing, but the gate wasn't locked. A large warehouse-style building dominated the site, with several smaller outbuildings scattered around the perimeter. A few vehicles were parked near the warehouse, but no people were visible.
Are we really doing this?
We need the evidence. The FBI needs proof. This is what we came for. They entered through the gate cautiously, staying low and moving quickly toward the warehouse. Every instinct screamed danger, but they pushed forward anyway. Through the warehouse windows, they could see inside. Horse stalls lined one wall, at least a dozen of them. Equipment for moving and transporting animals. A small office area with desks and filing cabinets. This wasn't just storage. This was an operational facility. Ashley pulled out her phone and started taking photos through the windows. Clear shots of the interior setup, the horse stalls, the equipment, everything that would prove this was a smuggling staging area.
Look at that truck.
He pointed to a large horse trailer parked beside the warehouse. The license plate was visible, and Caleb photographed it carefully.
That plate matches one we documented at the Price Ranch. Same vehicle moving between Nathan's family property and this location. That's direct connection.
They moved around the building, photographing from multiple angles. Ashley tried the warehouse door, locked. But they could see enough through windows to document the layout and operation. Near one of the outbuildings, they found more evidence. Fresh hay scattered on the ground. Water troughs that had been recently filled. Tire tracks in the dirt showing heavy vehicle traffic. This wasn't an abandoned facility. This was active and in regular use. This is it. This is the concrete evidence the FBI needs. Criminal operation connected directly to Nathan through the Price Ranch and his regular visits here.
Let's get as much documentation as possible and get out. The longer we're here, the more risk we take.
Ashley was photographing the tire tracks, getting clear images that showed the pattern and freshness when Caleb suddenly grabbed her arm.
Do you hear that?
She stopped, listening. In the distance, the sound of a vehicle engine approaching. Someone's coming. We need to hide. They looked around frantically for cover. The outbuildings were too far. The warehouse was locked. Their own vehicle was parked outside the fence, too far to reach quickly.
They're behind those pallets.
They ran toward a stack of wooden pallets near the warehouse, crouching behind them just as a vehicle came through the gate. Ashley's heart was pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. They watched through gaps in the pallets as the vehicle, a dark SUV, drove slowly toward the warehouse and parked. The driver's door opened. Nathan Price stepped out. Ashley felt the blood drain from her face. Nathan wasn't supposed to be here. This wasn't one of his scheduled days. They'd confirmed he was at Heartland that morning. How was he here now? But he was, and he was alone. And he was walking directly toward the warehouse, moving with purpose like he owned the place. For a moment, Ashley allowed herself to hope maybe he'd go inside the warehouse, stay there, and they could slip away unseen. Maybe they'd get lucky. Then, Nathan stopped walking, turned, and looked directly at their hiding spot behind the pallets. His face showed no surprise, no shock, just cold, calculated recognition.
You can come out now. I know you're there.
Ashley and Caleb remained frozen behind the pallets, hoping desperately that somehow he was bluffing, that he hadn't actually seen them.
Ashley, Caleb, I saw you enter the property. I watched you photograph the warehouse.
Oh,
Watched you photograph the warehouse. I know exactly where you're hiding. Come out. Now.
His voice was calm, almost pleasant, but the command underneath was unmistakable. Slowly, Knowing they had no choice, Ashley and Caleb stood up from behind the pallets and stepped into view. Ashley's phone was still in her hand, the camera app visible on the screen with all the photos they'd just taken. Nathan stood about 20 feet away, his expression unreadable. When he spoke again, his voice remained calm and controlled.
I've been waiting for you two to show up here. Wanted to see how far you'd take your little investigation before I dealt with you. Olzed.
The words confirmed Ashley's worst fears. Nathan knew. He knew they were investigating him. He'd known probably for days or longer, and he'd been waiting for this exact moment.
Nathan, we can explain. You're trespassing on private property, with cameras. Photographing a facility you have no authorization to be near. That's several crimes right there. But we both know that's not really the issue, is it?
He took a step closer. Ashley's hand moved instinctively toward her pocket where her phone was, thinking of calling the FBI, calling police, calling anyone. Nathan noticed the movement and smiled without warmth.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. We're on private property. You're trespassing, and there's no cell service out here anyway. The nearest tower is 3 miles away. Your phones are useless.
Ashley pulled out her phone anyway and looked at the screen. No signal. Nathan was right. They were completely cut off.
Just you, me, and a very isolated location where anything could happen. So let's talk about what you think you know about me, and what I'm going to do about the fact that you know it.
He moved closer, blocking the path back to where their vehicle was parked outside the fence. His body language was relaxed, confident. He wasn't afraid of them. He wasn't worried about being caught. He was completely in control of the situation. We know about the smuggling operation. We know this facility is part of it. We know the Price Ranch is involved, and we know you're connected to all of it.
Do you? That's interesting. And who exactly have you shared these theories with?
The question was delivered casually, but Ashley heard the importance underneath. Nathan was trying to determine how much damage they'd done. Who else knew what they knew?
We've told people, if something happens to us, they'll know it was you.
Nathan laughed, a cold sound without humor.
Really? What people? Amy, I doubt that. She'd have confronted me by now if you'd told her you were investigating me. The police? No reports have been filed. So, who, exactly, have you told?
His eyes narrowed slightly, assessing them.
Unless you're working with someone official who asked you to investigate me quietly. That would explain a lot. The questions. The snooping, the way you've been watching me for weeks.
Ashley felt panic rising. They couldn't reveal the FBI investigation. That would compromise everything, endanger the entire operation, possibly destroy any chance of prosecuting Nathan and the larger criminal network. But staying silent might get them killed right here, right now.
No answer? That's fine. I'll figure it out eventually. But right now we have a more immediate problem. You two know too much. You've seen too much. You're documenting evidence of operations that need to stay hidden. And you've been doing it deliberately, systematically, like you're building a case against me.
He was directly in front of them now, close enough that Ashley could see the complete absence of warmth in his eyes. This was the real Nathan Furr, the cold, calculating criminal who'd been hiding behind a boyfriend's mask.
I gave you warnings, subtle ones, because I didn't want to alarm Amy. I've been watching you, trying to figure out if you were genuine threats or just nosy neighbors who'd lose interest. But you didn't lose interest. You kept pushing, kept investigating. And now, here you are, at one of my facilities, with cameras full of evidence that could destroy everything I've built.
If you hurt us, you'll only make things worse for yourself. People know where we are. They'll come looking.
Do they?
Because I don't think anyone knows you're here.
I think you came alone, without telling anyone, because you wanted to be the heroes who got the smoking gun evidence. Am I wrong?
His words hit too close to the truth. They had come alone. The FBI knew about the location but didn't know they were here today. Amy didn't know. No one knew. They were completely on their own with a dangerous man in an isolated location where, as Nathan had said, anything could happen. The episode ended on Ashley and Caleb's faces, frozen in terror as Nathan stepped even closer, his expression showing clear intent. They'd been so focused on investigating him, gathering evidence, protecting Amy, that they'd walked directly into a trap. Nathan had been watching them, waiting for them. And now he had them exactly where he wanted them, isolated, cut off from help, with no witnesses, and no way to call for rescue. Everything they'd feared about Nathan Price was true, and now they were about to experience firsthand just how dangerous he really was. Behind them, the warehouse held evidence of the smuggling operation they'd spent weeks documenting. In Ashley's phone were photos that could connect Nathan to organized crime. But none of that mattered if they didn't survive the next few minutes. Nathan's cold smile promised that their investigation had just reached its most dangerous moment, and there was no escape route, no cavalry coming, no way out except through whatever Nathan decided to do with the two people who knew too much about his criminal enterprise. The hunters had become the prey, and the predator had them cornered with clear intent to eliminate the threat they represented. Permanently. That concludes today's episode. Ashley and Caleb visited Heartland, expecting Nathan to be suspicious after they'd searched his belongings. But instead he was surprisingly warm and friendly, which terrified them even more. Despite the risk, they continued investigating and discovered Nathan repeatedly visits a remote location connected to the smuggling operation through shell company ownership. The FBI asked them to document the site for evidence. They went when they believed Nathan was at Heartland, found a warehouse facility with horse stalls and equipment, clear smuggling staging area, and photographed everything, including truck with plates matching the Price Ranch. But while gathering evidence, Nathan arrived. He'd been waiting for them, knew they'd come here, and now had them cornered in an isolated location with no cell service and no escape route. Nathan made clear he knows they've been investigating him and asked what they plan to do about them, knowing too much. The episode ended with Ashley and Caleb trapped, terrified, facing the dangerous man they've been investigating, who now has them exactly where he wants them. Join us next time to see if they survive this confrontation. If this episode left you breathless with fear, please like and subscribe. Until next time, this is Cowboys and Cattle.